riding out the clock on the job that you have just to collect a benefit does not give you a better life. The more you sit in stagnation inside the company that you're in, the more you are sitting in somebody else's dream job. The thing that you loathe, the thing that you are disenchanted by and tired of, somebody else wakes up every morning praying for that. If you are stagnantly occupying somebody else's dream job, that means yours is still out there. Hey, welcome to the UnCultured podcast. My name is Shauna K. I am a lifestyle design coach, goal strategist, and corporate culture consultant, and I am your host today. Today on the show, where we really spend all of our time discussing your job and what you do for a living and how that fits into the big picture of your life. Today, we're going to talk about being in somebody else's seat. And I know, this can be maybe a bit of a hot topic, but let's talk through it together and see where we get. Right. So the idea of your job, right? Most people go out to get their job based on needing to pay their bills. That's our common kind of thing. We don't work just because we feel like it. We work because we got bills to pay. We got stuff to do, right? And ideally, the whole premise of being the antithesis of whatever the generalized corporate culture is, the hypothesis is you deserve to not only live a life that you love, but to work a job that you love. And that becomes part of your life, not the other way around. Not that you're getting a job and then trying to build your life around said job. It's that you build the life and that job then fits into the picture of your life. The challenge here is that most people don't consider the life that they want, let alone the job that they want to have to fit that life. Usually it's pick a skill, pick a talent, pick an idea, and just drive full frontal into that direction, whether that be through promotion or attempting to innovate in a space and forcing yourself to fit inside the box of whatever that is, right? So we're here to talk about how to reframe that. I start from the premise that you should really quit your job. And then you test your job against all these kind of thought processes to see if the job should stay or if it is in fact time for you to go. And there's a lot of things around corporate culture that pertain here, how company behaves and how the culture is and what the brand is and whether or not you ascribe to what the leadership is kind of purports to be, who they say they are versus who they actually are. You know, it's one of them things like people should be able to show you better than they can tell you kind of a thing. So the words that are up on the wall as the mission and vision statement of the company really don't matter if the leadership and the structure of the company is not walking the talk that they are saying that they are dealing with. So those are some things to consider with your job selection. But really, all of this starts from the most basic point and premise that most people are not super intentional about the job that they get. They're super intentional about the amount of money that they want to make and maybe some minute lifestyle choices, right? I would prefer to work remotely. And then financially, I'd prefer to make over $100,000. And then the other thing, maybe just like health benefits is usually the top three things. Like, how much time are you going to require me to be in the office? How much money am I making? And what do my benefits look like? Those three things are options that most companies have in some way, shape, or form. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to work the job that you are working in order to have those three things be true and come together. So what happens a lot of the time? A lot of the time, because your 18-year-old self or 20-year-old self, while you were in college or high school or whatever, picked this career path, you now feel stuck. I am stuck. I must, in fact, do this thing that I am doing. And there's no other option for me except for to go up. So if I want more money, I have to go up where I already am. If I want more benefits, I have to go up where I already am. If I want more time, as far as like working remotely, then I have to go up from where I am. And up is not always the answer. Sometimes the answer is out. And then it becomes like, well, when do I know when is it time for me to go up or out? Right? So those things are things to think about. The danger in all of this is becoming stagnant. The danger is looking at up as a way out of your situation, a way out of the current circumstances, and thinking that getting a promotion is going to in fact improve your circumstance when maybe that's not the best thing. And in the meantime, what happens is stagnation. So stagnation looks like I am currently occupying the job that I am occupying, waiting for something to happen in the direction of up. I'm not actively working for it. I'm waiting for the moment where what's entitled to me just gets bestowed upon me. And that does not cause me to have to activate anything new, have a new thought, operate in a new idea, expand my zone of genius in any way, shape, or form. But essentially, every 2 years, I'm getting a raise or a promotion or whatever. And so I'm just sitting here. Now, the deal with stagnation is that it is a really self-fulfilling prophecy, honestly, where if you are sitting in a job where you are sitting in that point of stagnation where it's like, man, I'm gonna get promoted every 2 years, and so I don't have to do anything to get my promotion. I'm just gonna ride the line here and just keep going where I am. You're no longer challenging yourself. You're no longer seeking new information. And so then you're not actively designing your life, you are just currently existing. This is the job, if you think about it as far as like a position is concerned, you're complaining about it, you really don't like it, you don't love what you do, you are in fact kind of loathing the job itself. You're probably loathing the leadership. You've been told no a bunch of times. People have told you you could have something and then you couldn't actually have that thing. So people, again, back to that whole values thing, the talk versus walking the walk. You signed up to work for a company because they were talking good talk, but then once you got in, they weren't really walking the walk. And so you lost your passion for the projects that you were working on. You lost your passion for the mission of the company, the leadership of the company, the overall vision of the company. It is now lost on you, and you are just stagnantly existing in the position that you're in, waiting on up. And up will come because the structure of the company that you have now mastered the structure of the company, right? I'm sure. And you know that every 2 years, so long as I'm below it, I'm going to be able to get an advancement in where I am. And that creates a stagnation. There's no challenge in that space. There's no intentionality in that space. There's no creativity or innovation or ideas in that space for you. Forget what it is about the company. And the problem here is that sometimes the cultures of the companies create scenarios where you don't want to give your best. You don't want to give your best anymore because you've tried to give your best before and then you ended up in a position and posture where you just were overlooked, where you were not prioritized, where you were not given what you were told that you would be given. And so you become stagnant. And it doesn't take a lot. That's the thing that I wish more Fortune 500 companies and larger companies understood. It doesn't take a lot for the disappointment from the disillusionment that happens when you sign up, when an employee signs up for a company and then finds out that they're not really walking the talk that they talked in the beginning, that really it's big fancy words on the website and not really caring for people and investing in people in the whole bit. I wish more Fortune 500s and other larger companies understood that it doesn't take a lot for an employee to disconnect. Like, what was the moment for you? Like, when you sit and reflect on it for a minute, what was the moment where you decided, I'm just gonna sit here, collect my promotion every 2 years, and let that be it? And I would love to tell you just to rally your courage and go, but no, no, no. I do want to give you a few things to think about when you think about whether or not you're going up or out, right? If you are going out, if you're like, man, I'm sick of this company, I'm just waiting on this is something I hear a lot. I'm just waiting to hit my retirement point so I can just get out of here. Stagnation, right? It's clearly stagnation. I'm just waiting to get out of here. So you're writing out some sort of timeline where you are collecting a certain benefits package for retirement. This is for people that get 50, 60 years old, right? And then below that, even at 35 to 40 years old, maybe you're looking at the job going, I'm just waiting for something better to come along. I'm building my resume here, but I'm not really going to contribute my best thoughts here. So let's talk about the big ideas. You as a creative being, you have big ideas. What do you do with them currently? I'm willing to bet if you allow them to form fully, then you are just putting them in what I'm going to call the idea box. Putting them in the idea box. And inside this idea box are all the things that you've ever thought about innovating, creating, trying, attempting. The problem with most companies is that they don't create space for you to let your ideas out of that box. So a lot of times employees wrongfully think that they need to quit to start businesses in order to have all their ideas get flushed out. I would like to challenge that thought process. First, entrepreneurship is not for everybody, right? Like that's a thing. The other thing is your ideas are meant to get out of your idea box and into the world. Sometimes the best version of your employment scenario is a space where your ideas have space to grow. So instead of sitting stagnant in your box, here's a thought for you. Propose a program inside of your company. Now, if and when they decide that that's not something that they want to move forward with, I understand the disappointment that's going to come along with that. Go find a company where your ideas are welcomed, like genuinely welcomed. Go find a place where people are excited about your innovation. They're excited about what you bring to the table, and then go work there. It's not always take my ideas and start a business, and it's definitely not let me sit here in this seat and just occupy this space. What I want you to know is that the more you sit in stagnation inside the company that you're in, the more you are sitting in somebody else's dream job. The thing that you loathe, the thing that you are disenchanted by and tired of, somebody else wakes up every morning praying for that exact thing. And it's not like you have to live your professional life in service to everybody else on the planet, but if you are stagnantly occupying somebody else's dream job, that means yours is still out there and you can go find it. So I'm going to challenge you to go to your next job interview with an idea that you want to implement inside of that company. Now, give them part of it, but give it to them in a way that makes them know that they can't do it without you. What is your secret sauce? What is your big idea? What is your value? Because the bottom line is you have something massive to add to the world, and we all need it. It's not even that we want it, we need it. You were here to do something. You're here to say something, you're here to innovate something. And if you are operating in stagnation professionally, then you're limiting your opportunity to allow whatever that thing is to come out. If you are functioning feeling stifled, then you're suppressing whatever's in that idea box. You're like putting a big elephant on top of the box and just like letting it sit there, right? Instead of finding a way to get that idea out. So this is all a big challenge against stagnation. Sitting in a job, knowing that you don't like it, knowing that you've lost your verve for, any excitement or any thrill of the actual job, and you know that it's not going to come from the company, right? And again, like Fortune 5s and a lot of larger companies, like they're just missing the mark on this, where they're not creating space for their employees to genuinely express their ideas. Because whatever's inside of you, your name is going on the wall, right? And it's going to push the reputation of the company as you are able to get your ideas out of your head. But you have to have space to do that. So my challenge to your stagnation is like, where can you put your idea in a place and in a way that it will be valued? Riding out the clock on the job that you have just to collect a benefit does not give you a better life. And what is the biggest goal here is that you have a better life. So no matter what you're doing right this minute, challenge, am I sitting in stagnation? Have I given up on trying to be creative and innovative in this space? Am I riding out the clock to just collect a check? Am I spending the majority of my life, which is what you are doing at your job, just existing? Am I adding value to where I am? And again, listen, if you have tried all these things and you have not been appreciated, it is actually time for you to go out and stop looking to go up. Up only serves you, right? If you're looking to go up, let it be to lead people with compassion and with good leadership and those kinds of things. Let it be to facilitate more fully the ideas and the creativity and the innovation that you have and you want to leave and give to the world. If it can't be that, then it's time for you to go out. Out is another job. Out is another company. Out is a different move, whatever that move may be. And out does not have to be a business. And let me just be very clear with you. Out does not have to be a business. It's got to be about where can I innovate the most based on the big idea that I have. But just sitting stagnantly collecting a check you deserve better than that. Your life demands better than that. And when you really start thinking about the design of your life, you're able to see that in a way that makes it more real and more tangible. Hey, thanks for tuning into the UnCultured podcast. I've been your host, Shauna K. Henson, lifestyle design coach, goal strategist, and corporate culture consultant. If this is your first time here, make sure you like, subscribe, and share this with somebody you know. If you're coming back for more, thanks so much for being here, and I hope that you'll tune in again. No matter what you're doing in your life, remember to make intentional choices, and wherever you are starting, remember that's not where you have to finish. Your life is yours alone, and your next dream is only one goal strategy away from getting exactly what you desire.